allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Cynic.
Here.
Rokas.
He is called in absent. He's sick tonight.
Rook.
Here.
Fletcher.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Approval of minutes from last meeting. All right. Any changes to the minutes, or making a motion that we approve the minutes from November 9th?
Second.
Okay. Approve in second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Approval of tonight's agenda. Any other items that are missing from there for tonight? Okay. So I think I might change the order up just a little bit, seeing as how I have our representative from Spicer here tonight. Would be okay to talk about the master plan and short-term rentals first, and then have the public comment after that, or would you rather have the public comment first?
She has two public comments.
Yep, absolutely, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you
I'd
want,
like to have both.
do you want it before she has, I mean, because that way there might be some things that she brings up that you want to have a comment on? I
No,
mean,
'cause
before we discuss any of it.
No, because I had conversation with her before the
Okay,
meeting, but now that we're on record, I'd like to
that's fine. I just want to
address the
see.
board so that, I'm trying to make sure that stuff happens
Sure,
thoroughly.
that's fine. I said I just wanted to ask.
I appreciate that. Thank you for that consideration.
Sure. Okay, so, public comment. Brad Eddy.
Brad Eddy, 1890 South Huron Road. Me and my wife own the Eddy Brothers Auto Parts property on the 1890 South Huron Road. We also reside there. And through the years, there's been multiple changes through the township's planning commission for junkyard and salvage yard definitions. The last time was in 2015 by Alan Bean, and the only member on the planning commission that was here for that at that time as original is Don. So there is records somewhere of what the changes got changed to, and there is also that I've seen that Spicer had in their billings a posting to the public. So if we can
What
find
year was that again? I'm sorry.
2015.
So it'd be in the minute.
Yep, it is in the minutes and on Spicer.
Early, mid-year, late year,
It was
roughly?
in May,
Okay.
is when it began, and I think Spicer's last
Something like that.
correspondences were in October.
Okay, so May to October, I want to look back in the minutes.
Yep.
And see.
No,
what-
I would love for you
Okay.
to do that, and just because I think it's important that we put some things to rest with my family's. My mom still owns the corporation of the Eddy Brothers Auto Parts. and we need to get some resolve here. And Jen, I've talked to other Spicer persons, and they said that they were gonna get back with me that were at these meetings.
The only other question I have, is there still any ongoing litigation from this?
Between
Anything,
Brother-
yeah, and us?
There is an appeal process going on right now.
Okay, all right, because some of the stuff we
Yeah,
can't.
but this should have, we care about our history, and my grandpa, this information was held, and there was actually a sheriff's report, Jen, that the information was held in this vault from subpoena and from FOIA. So I can forward the sheriff's report that shows that there was information that showed my grandfather zoned our property for those uses and what the uses were historically. What we care about is that our historical uses are put back to what they've always been. Because I have another generation coming through, like Mr. Fletcher said, he's got grandkids. I have kids, I have 2 kids. We plan on the kids taking over what we have. We have no plans on sale of our property. We have no plans on leaving the community, ever. So I want to have what my grandfather paid for and did in those minutes in 1984. I want those uses reinstated for that land, word for word in definition. I think that's important to the integrity of the master plan and the township, because the master plan controls the future of the township. And the future of the township is my kids, okay? And I plan on being a political figure in this township till my dying day after this. I don't care if it's sitting on the planning commission or a board. I plan on being a figure here. I plan on having a voice for the people, other businesses, and residents. So with that said, I have shared multiple documents with the board and with the planning commission. Due to my wife's family owning Docket Mobile Homes, both properties of our families were changed without our property's knowledge, our family's knowledge. We just need stuff straightened out to where we're not confused, our families aren't confused. Due to deaths in the families, there can be a lot of confusing things, and if we just pay attention to history and don't erase it, that's solid, firm foundation for them to stand on, and that's all that I'm asking for is,
Okay.
I don't want confusion in my life should I pass. I want my kids to have something, my wife to have something, and I want this stuff to not be passed down. Now, if the planning commission tells me to take it to, you know, the board of review or whatever, board of appeals, I'm fine with that, because I know that with what I got out of the vault with the sheriff's department and their report, we're solid. We are solid on our foundation, but we need it put back in the ordinance book. It needs to be brought back to life.
What part needs to be brought back?
The definitions and our zoning, it was all changed without our knowledge. Even my father and mother-in-law's properties, the zoning was changed without their knowledge.
When we got rid of one of the C classifications?
Yes, C3 turned into industrial.
Okay.
And when that happened, just so you all know, when that happened, it changed the uses of everything. I just seen Mr. Roof going through, and the lady's name who changed the zoning ordinance was Cindy Windland from Crescent Consulting. And when that happened, it just was a box. You'd check for special use. My grandfather never had a special use for a junkyard. It was use by right. We care about the use going back to use by right. We never had a special use. It's been proven in court. It's been proven everywhere. It's use by right. And that's what we need back.
I understand.
You know, the C3, my father-in-law zoned dockets to C3. Now it's turned to C2. I don't understand how his C3 went to C2, and yet our C3 went to I1. You know, if you were to go to the junkyard definition, when my grandfather changed it, everything in there is what we do. And I swear on the Holy Bible that that is the factual truth that we want to stand on, and I want my kids to stand on. And I don't want to be here, and if that's the board of review or appeals that I have to go through to get this reinstated or changed, I am willing to do so, because I don't think it can be beat. I think the factual documentation sits in the vault, which I know this board probably don't have the keys to. But should somebody, you know, Mr. Kirsch, do you have keys to it?
What?
The vault, any of the old zoning records?
No.
So the problem I look at, Mr. Fletcher, is that not everybody can access history in our environment here. And I think if everybody could access history, we wouldn't have these problems. I mean, and I'm talking multiple property owners. I don't think my case, my mom's, is alone. I think that this is on multiple ends. You know, I think this can be fixed very simply. It's just that people need to be able to hear it.
I will go back and look.
I have produced these for you all, you know, to show you the definitions of the junkyard. And back then, I don't know if I've showed you, Charlie, in that binder that, but C3 used to encompass C2 and C1 in the definition.
Good.
So it's hard for me to accept that somebody took that away from us as uses to where all of a sudden we're I1. We were never I1 in my family's lifetime that they knew. It was done behind closed doors. So, and on those maps behind you guys, that's where it shows it. I know it's covered now for some reason.
That was an old one from Wade Trim.
But exactly, that's when it was changed. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys listening. I just would like for it to become a priority. So, it's, I mean, property lines, everything. There was so many other things in our zoning, and in the ordinance number 50, in township zoning ordinance number 50, you guys could all reference, and that is when my grandfather changed it to C3. So ordinance 50 encompassed, I think, 7 different properties, including R&W. You know, there's, I think, 4 or 5 different businesses, so I appreciate you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Anybody else? Good. Okay. Thanks, Brad. On to old business. Jen, master plan.
Right. So I spoke with Melissa today, and she and I kind of figured out where we're at.
Okay.
So I think those are from her,
Yes.
and they are what was original that you reviewed and the board reviewed, and then they were the changes based on the board's suggestions.
Great.
So that's that. And then we talked about, so the master plan needs to go out for the 63-day review period.
Okay.
So she asked me earlier today to help with the notice for that, which I can do.
Okay.
And internally, so the master plan has to go out to the neighboring communities for review as part of that. And so we've already started that, and they'll go out in the mail tomorrow.
Okay.
So if we can get it posted, I don't know when the newspaper deadline is, but hopefully next
Monday.
week sometime.
Monday.
Okay, so then it'll go out, it'll be newspaper and mailing all right around the same time.
King County Journal's Monday.
Okay. So then, we should make it in time. What day is your March? You haven't set your March meeting yet.
Oh, that's in this little packet here, I can tell you right now. And the back of your little packet I gave you right there under your... March's meeting is not a...
No, that's still the old schedule.
This said 24, 25.
Yeah, but our year goes from April.
Right.
I can go look on
Here, I got a calendar right here.
It'd be the second Thursday.
Second Thursday of March.
Oh, what, March?
March.
Is the 14th.
14 March.
So, I'll count backwards. But we'll see if we can get it on the, if it makes it, the 63 days makes it to that March date.
I don't know if we're gonna make it.
It might be
Monday
close,
date.
yeah.
I think we might end up having to go the following.
Well, you're still gonna make it because you got from
The 63 days, you're saying.
Right.
28 days in February, 31 days in January.
It'll be close.
It's almost gonna be April 11th.
They just have to have it in the paper by 5 o'clock Monday.
Right.
I don't know what Sherry's schedule is on Monday, and.
No, are you talking, do you count weekends? I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking, okay, well, you've got 31 days in January and 29 in February, right there, 60.
Right.
And you got the rest of March.
And then you've
So
got
we'll make
March,
it.
you got the rest of December and the rest of March,
That'd
or
be
the 2 weeks of
63, you
March.
said.
Yep,
We'll have more than, yeah, we'll
We'll
have
make it.
63 days.
Okay, so we'll go for public hearing in March.
March 14th.
That meeting, so you have your 63-day review period, and I believe Melissa has already put the plan on the township website, she did that today. Then the public hearing in March needs a 15-day notice to the newspaper again.
Gotta back up, so we gotta have that in by the